Hi, and welcome to the next episode of Belly to Belly. And we're here today to talk about SelectUSA preparation. And we're with our great friend, Tahmina Watson from Watson Immigration. Welcome, Tahmina.
Thank you so much, Bill, for having me. I'm so excited to chat with you today.
Oh, it's fantastic. And I'm so glad that you're going to SelectUSA and we can catch up. But the big reason we're doing this series of podcasts are to connect the companies that are coming to SelectUSA with high value resources that they'll be able to meet at the event and really kind of encourage as much pre-meeting to happen as possible. But would you mind taking a minute or two and just kind of describing how you and your team help companies that are coming into the US in terms of getting them set up and helping them thrive here?
Well, thank you so much again for letting me share a little bit about what we do. Select USA is just so exciting. I know people go there to figure out how they can make their entry into the United States market. And as a business immigration attorney, my expertise is helping people with their visa issues. Not only do people have to create their companies, get tax ID numbers, and so forth, the beginning of the discussions really have to be immigration. And once they do all the things in the middle of creating the company, getting a business plan and what have you, then immigration comes along again. So we help our clients with advising on which visa might be the best suited one for their situation, and how to make sure that with their facts, they can successfully apply for their visa application.
That's fantastic. So I know you've also written a few books. You have one called The Startup Visa, and you're coming out with a new book, which is going to be released on July 4th, which also might be helpful to some of the companies coming to SelectUSA. Do you want to give a quick thumbnail on that?
Sure. Well, I'm so excited about this book. This book has been requested of me for over 10 years. It's actually called The Startup Visa as well. It's the second in the series. The first book was an advocacy book, Why We Need a Visa Category for Startup Founders. We simply don't have one. But last year, it really became clear that we may not actually be able to change the law for a very long time for startup founders. So how do we navigate the law as it exists for startups and businesses that are trying to establish themselves in the US? So this book will be an easy to read, handy guide on all the visa categories that we have, but also some preparation tips and what to do on the immigration front when you start your business and as your business gets established and when you want to exit or do IPO or whatever the journey is on immigration. I want to address them in the book. So the book will come out on July 4th, but it is available on Amazon already as a pre-order.
Fantastic. So I know when we were talking earlier, you said that going to SelectUSA has just sort of been on your wish list for a long time. You're excited to go. What is it about SelectUSA for you that really means a lot and where you feel it has great value?
Well, I think what people need to understand is, first of all, I have spoken at many, many different events, and I love working with the energy that people who are excitedly starting a new company with their new products and services. I just love that energy, and the word startup just lights me up. It's almost really like making people's dreams come true with their businesses. But Select USA is a very special event because the United States government, the Department of Commerce, is part of it. And when America is essentially saying, come to us, we've got all the things you need right in this spot, it makes it easy for the company to come to the United States, figure out who the service providers are, where they want to invest, where they want to have their office, who these people are that they maybe have met on Zoom for years and never met in person. Often we know names on listservs, but we don't know the faces. Then you can put the names and the faces together. But I just think it's so exciting that after the pandemic, we couldn't get together for a long time. And I think it's only this year, even though things might have started last year, it's this year people are brave enough to really come out as if it were pre-pandemic days. So I think it's going to be exciting for several different reasons. But for the United States of America to really put on an event for the rest of the world is exciting in and of itself.
Fantastic. So That means so much. And thinking about the companies that are coming, some will have been to the U.S. before, some may have some operations already, and going concerning customers and so on. Others, this will be not only their first trip to SelectUSA, but their first trip to the U.S. Are there suggestions you have for the companies coming in terms of how to get the most out of participating in a fairly large U.S. trade show?
Yeah, that's such a great question. I mean, even as a seasoned conference attendee, I always have to make my own assessment. But if somebody is coming to the United States to figure out how to make their entry, the business entry into the US, I would divide them into two categories: the ones that have never been here before and the ones that have had some operation. The ones that have never been here before, I think it's really important to figure out, who are the people that you are understanding in the language, in the communication style. All of those things really matter. But also make a list of what are your top 5 things that you need to have under your belt before you leave. Do you need to know how to set up a company? Do you need a tax accountant? Often, if you what entities will save you money from a tax perspective, because you're going to be, a subsidiary or an affiliation. What kind of entity is going to be the best one for you? Where do you want to be? I lived outside of the US for many years. I'm an immigrant myself. But, when you live outside the US, you don't know how vast America is. It's not just DC, it's not just New York. Which state might be a good one for you to visit while you're here? Where is the best place for your type of business? Do you need a big manufacturing plant, or do you need a restaurant? I don't know. You figure out what your needs are, and also do some research before you get here. Think about the 5 professionals you need to meet, the geographical locations you will be interested in, find people in those geographical areas as well. So those are the people who don't know what America's about. But those who have companies here might have operations and clients here. Meet your clients, invite them over to DC. Everyone's looking for an opportunity to travel and go somewhere else. I'm looking for birding opportunities, as you know. But find the people that you already know and have a way to meet them. Coming to the United States is not easy, even if you have a visa to travel, because getting that visa appointment at the embassy is difficult. Proving all the things you need is difficult. You may not know when you can come next time. Make the most of this trip in what you need. If you're established, your next thing will be, what are the 5 things I need to get my company operational? And whatever visa category you have, you often need somebody to help with the business when you're not here as an employee or as a contractor. Really try to find that person who can help you with that particular need, because somebody has to file or sign the paperwork for the forms, depending on what type of visa you have. So, depending on your needs and your stage of business, I think those would be my top tips.
Oh, those are fantastic, Tahmina. And so for our audience, I want to let you know that we're going to put all Tahmina's contact information in the description, as well as the link to her new book coming out. If you're looking for a real good guide, that would be fantastic to check that out. But Tahmina, it's just been wonderful, delight to talk to you today. And thanks so much for sharing not only about your practice, but your great suggestions about getting the most out of SelectUSA.
Thank you so much for having me.